Hello guys, how are you all? வாங்க ரெடிட் டிஸ்கஷன் போவோம். ஏன்னா இதுதான் ரொம்ப எக்ஸைட்டிங்காக இருக்குது. சைலோ சீசன் 1 எபிசோட் 3 டிஸ்கஷன் த்ரெட். வாங்க, here we go. First, did no one from all the people gathered at the safe zone? No one from all the people gathered at the safe zone noticed the green exterior view from the windows when the lights went out. There was some reaction, but I'm not sure if it was for the lights going out or for the view outside. It was only there for a fleeting moment, but surely someone out there have captured a glance. Hopefully we get more on this next week. Hopefully that is for the next week. பார்ப்போம். அடுத்தது, there were few confused looks on the lingering stars. It was done intentionally to let us know that those characters definitely noticed it. They noticed, but they are so locked in, they are scared to question. True. Or they have no idea what they are seeing. True. வேறு லெவலில் பேசியிருக்கீங்கடா டே. அடுத்தது, delete பண்ணிட்டாங்களா? Absolutely, a few people saw that it wouldn't have happened outside otherwise. That's all it takes. Only a few people to start questioning everything for it to fall apart. Nice. I immediately paused it and went here. You can hear some hush's voice saying, "What was that?" At least two scenes had focused on middle-aged Asian woman. Two scenes that focused on a middle-aged Asian woman looking with suspicion. There was two couples, one old and one young as well. So I'm also guessing she might be telling about this publicly. And 3 years previous, a woman stood in front of a room full of people screaming about how it was green outside and judicial was lying, and she wanted to go out. That isn't everyday's occurrence, and the people who saw the glitch surely heard and saw the rant 3 years prior. It didn't take long to put 2 plus 2 together. Nice. I think it was young Asian Indian woman, lol, but it doesn't matter. I imagine the average person would dismiss or even fail to notice if they happen to be looking for the view. The sudden loss of light from the screen and lamps causing eyes to adjust to the contrast and briefly of the glitch when nobody is expecting to see such a scene might make it kind of disappear to the mind's eye. These are not people who have lifetime of experience watching and analyzing the video, remember. Also, they don't know what the green environment represents. It's just a meaningful as if the screen turned purple or blue to them. They have never seen nature before. Well, other than the parks in the silo, still they are a lot different than the rocky meadow with a bright blue sky. You're right. There have been trees and other small green plants in some scenes, hasn't there been? But like the scene where Maya Jones gets offered the strawberries. Yeah, true. Next, there was a shot of green vegetarian inside Shiloh, the episode though, and definitely was significant when Sam saw green outside in the episode 1. Green vegetation inside the Shiloh. First opening இப்படி தான் ஆரம்பிக்கும். Okay. I didn't think of it, but it sounds logical. New Mandela effect just dropped. I think that you have been told one thing for 40 years and then you don't really question things, right? I heard among the chatter saying, "Did you see that?" I think people definitely took notice. Right. Yeah, what the fuck? My guess was when she asked to sit on the generator, that was a message on the barja. When she was asked to sit down the generator, that was the message on the barge. Also, it was pretty clear that shutting down the generator will shut down whatever screen is hiding, whatever is behind the window. So yes, people did see it and I anticipated to come up in the future episodes. The question is that a view of the actual outside or another program? It's odd that Holston sees the green landscape in his view, but not his wife. Holston sees the green landscape in his view, but not his wife. Not until he takes his helmet off, he crawls towards her. Okay. He sees the green landscape, but not his wife. That's why he takes his helmet off crossroads. Makes sense. His body is also shown in a normal view, but when it flashes to greenery, his body is gone. I don't think his wife died, or nor did he. I think he was crawling towards something on the ground where her body was in the normal view shown to people in the silos. I thought my husband put on the second episode last night, but it was the third, and I have not seen this again, so I think to go back and watch it. I'm pretty sure that we don't see anything of Holston's viewpoint after he starts, to wobble and then falls down. From then on, the viewpoint is from the cafeteria, watching him take off his helmet and crawl to his wife. I'm beginning to think whomever is behind this big leg on the screen has the ability to add or remove stuff as well. Think augmented reality. Wow. Shouldn't it be night time in the real world at 10 p.m. or whatever they finished? True, true. அதனால தான் அது ரொம்ப கிளிச்சாக சிஜிஐ வீடியோ வச்சுருக்காங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். True, true. I think this is a director slip. No, this is because in Silo they created their own day and night, so time in there is irrelevant to the actual time outside. Over 140 years, who knows if they actually know what time on the day is. Okay, I think Allison's former coworker definitely noticed. The weird thing is, if it's AI generated to keep people in line, why would it flash to a normal world like that upon power loss? Cortana question. Yes, they saw it, they made that pretty obvious. I've been waiting for someone to mention that. Did you guys saw it? அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு image போட்டிருக்காங்க. I still don't think this is a real view because the bodies aren't there. இருங்க பார்ப்போம். You guys saw this னு சொல்லிட்டு பா லைட்டாக ரஃப் இப்படி தான் இருந்துச்சா? I still don't think this is the real view because the bodies aren't there. What if they are both fake views? Also possible, but I think the barren view has to be real to an extent because the movements of the people on the screen seems to match the actual movements of the people outside. 39 replies are. I feel like there may be more to it than the show somehow. Host himself saw the lush green landscape when he exited. I wonder if there's even a real exit through the top at all, or if it's just a fake chamber that creates the illusion of outdoors. Maybe the only way out is through the bottom door underneath, but really I have no idea what's going on. True, makes sense. The real exit being through the water channels at the bottom seems incredibly intriguing. That's an interesting thought. If it is a fake out, then that begs the question, why go through that effort? Maybe a last resort to kill anyone that tries to go outside, because actually going outside would truly compromise the entire silo. Something even an airlock with sanitation couldn't stop. And yeah, I think the underwater part is definitely going to come into play. Like maybe a sewage system that connects to the main large system of interconnected silos. Wow. Generation ship that doesn't want the passengers to know their lives are just a means to an end. Holy shit, why did you just have to say that? It's actually such an insane guess. Although I'm not sure why Halston was able to move normally, unless it's maybe a generation ship that is waiting for terraforming to complete or something. That's Ascension kinda. No spoilers for those who haven't seen it. Highly recommend for absolutely epic what the fuckery. Ascension. Okay, it's a mini series. Timer ka papapom. Multiple silos. My wonder is that silo went through this huge repair with the generator, something akin to Y2K. Y2K is a concept that multiple meanings, particularly in slang and internet context, can stand for you're too cute, but too kind. Internet slang, additionally, it refers to a year 2000. Y2K na too cute. My wondering is that silo went through this huge repair with the generator, something akin to Y2K, but that's actually happened and might never end. There is stuff going on outside on other places outside of silo. Wouldn't they use the outside help even secretly to repair the generator? Maybe it was just a higher level silo for rich people. Maybe they are create the power for an above ground civilization and the judicials want them to stay dumb and just do the job. Wow! இதெல்லாம் வேற லெவலுங்க இதெல்லாம். They are the create power for above ground civilization and the judicials just want them to stay dumb and just do their job. வேற level. Truman shock dome. I'm just happy that it isn't simple. I hope it's not just outside world, okay, and they are lying. I hope there is a lot more to it. I like that theory. I think of it as really the outside, the judicials are some type of time released poison in the breathing tanks. So whoever goes out to clean dies soon after. This best evidence we have that the green lash is fake is that the same birds are always flying the same pattern. Both in the video and the hard drive and when Holston went outside, I think both are fake to some extent, and the exit is a face chamber where they kill the people that try to escape. The whole time I wondered if the lush wildlife was positioned outside the inside of the element. Wow. The whole time I wondered if the lush wildlife was positioned onto the inside of this element. Nice. Could be because a 140-year-old video looks exactly the same as the outside view, even birds included, how it did not change over a century. What if both the barren view and the paradise view are like filters? for what's actually there. So both have the same basic layout but different dressing. Otherwise, how else would they find this interest to clean it through the helmets? Ever heard of green screen? Adapavi. That's what makes me think if it's the real view and the reality is that people have left are still alive. Okay. I don't think so, only because I think the moment we see actually seem to match the movement of the outside people, especially Holton as he starts suffocating. You could argue that they were faked up until the point they pass out, but then just fake the whole thing instead of taking the risk of person not cleaning the camera, potentially triggering a rebellion. And in the last episode, we could see the sheriff perspective, and his wife's body wasn't there. She was right in front of him on camera view. True, true. You only saw the view from Holston's perspective up until he took his headgear off. Don't see anything else from his perspective, and I think this is intentional. Yeah, rewatched it. You are right. I guess the whole situation doesn't really make sense. Why make them see green before they die? Someone mentioned that maybe the suits are actually killing them, but seems weird that they fake the greenery, which I know would make someone more likely to take the masks off. Also, why was he crawling to the same spot if he had a different view than he did without his helmet on? We didn't really get this point of view once the helmet was removed and the light seemed blinding and is white for the second we didn't get. It's like every theory has a catch that undoes it. It's a Microsoft Microsoft Teams background screen. Yeah. Adappai. I think partially, but I wonder if maybe the air supply in the suit of people who have to clean this poison are tampered with. Sharif was clutching at his helmet when he went outside. Can be beautiful and lush, but it's still poisonous. How are birds still alive and flying around then? The poisoned helmet they wear. I think both might be fake. Even on the first groom is fake. There is one body. Look closely, and the green screen is probably fake too, since there are no bodies. Do you mean for the first view there's only one body when there should be more? If so, good catch. Okay. I don't understand how anyone is still confused about this. Also, disclaimer: I have not read the books. The 100% showed that the lush environment is fake in the episode 2. It was just a display on the sheriff's helmet. You know this because when he goes outside, he sees green and thinks his wife was right. And we know she also saw the green environment because she cleaned the camera for him. He looked towards the tree where her body should be, and it isn't there. So he thinks that wife was right and the TV instead are projecting a fake image. He thinks that his wife was right and the TV instead are projecting a fake image. However, notice when he takes his helmet off, the world around him kinda hard to see. It's no longer green but bleak, and his expression completely changes. But the biggest takeaway is he crawls towards his wife's body and then dies holding her hand. Her body wasn't there in the green helmet view, and he could only see her when he took the helmet off. The green view he saw was an exact copy of what they saw on the hard drive too. Fine. So clearly what they see in the silo is real. What they see in the helmet when they are sent out is fake. As for why they die, I assume it's either because they have poison gas pumped into the suit or they can't go anywhere, panic or scare people inside. Or the suits are sabotaged so they fail and die for the same reason above plus it reinforces outside is bad. Nice. So maybe they just add green so people clean the cameras. Yeah, that is what I'm thinking. I think the reason they do that is people who come out don't panic when they see that it's really bleak and dead because panic would scare the people in the silo. Wow. I think the reason they do this for people who don't panic when they see that it's really bleak and dead. Okay, okay, okay. Because the panic would scare the people in the silo. Notice how everyone cheers when they clean the camera. I think they'd freak more if the people just ran around screaming and died. But instead, they death becomes heroic because they clean and then die. Okay. I think another clue is when his wife is in jail, she says something like, I wonder why they all clean. And then tells the story of a guy who said he would 100% never clean, but once he got out there, he did it. So I'm thinking the green screen view is the helmet. The helmet is so they don't panic, and it makes them more likely to clean because they want the people in the silo to see the world as they are seeing it through the helmet. What I'm assuming the twist is the world is really dead and what they see in the silo is 100% real. The view into the silo is to prevent people from wanting not to go. which we viewers wrongly assume that video is fake to keep them in. Wow. View inside the silos to prevent people from wanting not to go. The view inside the silos to prevent people from wanting to go out, which we viewers wrongly assume the video is fake to keep them in. And the greenish view when they go out is to make them to do what I said above. Now there obviously has to be more twist because the this one is literally just too early to put together. It's just too easy to put together. So apparently not seeing some of those posts on this topic. So apparently nice not seeing some of these posts on this topic. I think it was pretty clear that the green view is fake and it isn't really supposed to be some big mystery after second episode. Too many clues show you take it's fake. Nice video. அடுத்தது, yeah, I think your answer is right. I guess the mystery is when what is killing them. Is it the suits or outside? Seems like the suit would work more than 3 minutes. Holston was the only one who took his helmet off, but maybe he was too late. Well, he still died after he took the helmet off, so I don't think it's just a poison air. I think the world really is dead and it's either poison gas that kills him or the suit are set to fail, expose them to the environment so they don't get far from the silo either. Because if they either died out of the view, the people would wonder did they actually make it? Because we can make it too. Or because there is some over that hill that he hates and his wife died at. Oh, because there is something over that hill he and his wife died at. I'm less interested in what is killing them and more interested in why they are being killed. They pump the poison to kill within the views because they don't want anyone thinking they can make it. But why? What's going on out there? How come to the people who go outside doesn't make a gesture that it is beautiful? They can do an Italian kiss moment or smile or thumbs up. They do, they clean, that's the whole thing. She makes an expression point in the jail to mention her husband when she asks, why do they all clean something like that? And then she tells the story about a guy who was sentenced out there to clean. He didn't volunteer, but he swore he would never clean. Yet when he got out there, he did. Imagine the image makes them elated and they want to show the side of that's beautiful. So they clean the camera so people can see. Also, maybe they mix something with the air, or the air is messed with that irritated them and makes them more likely to do it. Nice. I don't buy this because it's not human nature. If you see green, it's a huge reveal. You know, images inside is fake. Wiping dirt scenery off a screen isn't what you do. You jump and point and take your helmet off and wave and yell. Maybe you clean one wipe super fast and there might be miming hula dance and stuff. The wife was seen, but because she only wanted to send a message to her husband, secretly because her plan was to come back for him, but everyone else would be. I knew it. Why don't they do like a thumbs up or gesture? The suit's oxygen isn't just clean air; it's probably some drug that makes them high on or process things properly as they are dying. What still confuses me is that they all saw the camera being clean and the view stays the same. Everything outside is dead. Why would the first thought would when going outside be if I clean it now everything will see green? Literally saw what happened when it cleaned. I'm also still confused on why all this take there is no wiper on the lens. Granted, we don't know why previously people requested to leave were sent to clean, but I think it's reasonable to think a fair number of them didn't go just because they were suspicious about whether or not they are being lied to. I imagine many of them truly believe that the conditions outside were unlivable, but they were all collectively wanting for the date when the environment would improve. So the thought is when they go out, they actually expecting it to be dead and sincerely surprised to find that it was green. They're doing whatever they can to share the inside with those inside. Yes, the person who cleaned 2 years ago revealed a desolate hellhole. Person who cleaned 2 years ago revealed a desolate hellhole, but now they are excited to discover that things are finally green again. Nice. ரொம்ப சூப்பராக பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. Nice. In a very sci-fi comedy movie from a communist Poland called Six Mission, somewhat similar premise, civilization underground after catastrophic ecological damage of war. The exit area was essentially covered by a dome with fake zone environment. So when someone would look from the underground camera, they would think the world is dead. I wouldn't be surprised if the area around exit from the silos covered by something that conceals the real state of the world. Wow. I just finished episode 3, so this will be probably answered down the line. But right now I'm so confused about this because people who sent out to clean silo only did so because they wanted to leave to see the outside world. Mainly so because they assumed what was on the display to be fake, in the case of the Holston's wife. So once they are sent out, why would they start to clean to make others see the real view if they already know the cleaning the camera won't make the people of the silo see the real view as the image of the camera is altered? Example, if I was the one of these people who saw a lush green environment while from the inside I had been seeing a barren landscape, my first reaction would be not to clean, rather it would be somehow point out to people that they are altering their views from the scenes within. Example, by tracing out letters on the camera or sign language or something like that. Second thing bugging me is that why does everyone walk in the polar opposite direction from the camera after the first initial clean? Most likely, I suggested a greenish grass is fake, but I don't think the barren view of the dead trees is real either. So I think they also once they exit the silo, they are in some sort of other chamber where there is a light or exit on the other end, corresponding to where the hill or dead tree is, and they naturally walk towards that. Moreover, when the power went out, the flash of the lush green area, the most likely explanation for what the image altering software to make the real world appear barren was disabled or shut down. I agree this one. This makes more sense, la. When the power went out, the flash of the lush green area, the most likely explanation for it that the image altering software to make the real world appear barren was disabled or shut down, allowing for the temporary peak of the real world. If the lush green environment was truly fake and meant as an incentive for people who left to clean, doesn't make sense for it to accidentally appear on the screen inside just because they switched off. Right now, it's too early to tell what is going on. The whole thing could be some sort of a human sort of experiment. Maybe it's all happening in their minds, something like Sword Art Online. Maybe the real world actually is barren and people who leave the silo are shown a view of flesh green to show them what the world was like before became barren so that they die peacefully. But that still won't explain some things, I guess it will be explained in due course. Nice. People are cheering because they want their bits. I don't understand how anyone is still confused about this because it's being shown in a way to keep viewers guessing what's actually going on with the gifts to basically every theory so far. I don't think anything outside the world is 100% clear yet. I'm not sure why they would ever want to feed the green version to the screen, but we will see. Three screens, not only two. Oh, three screens, only two. My theory and thoughts. Season 1. Sorry, screen 1. What they want people into the hello to see, not so beautiful, not so catastrophic, for people to be hopeful for the future generation and keep them active, quiet and alive to save the silo system. Screen 2, what they want cleaners to see using the mask for them to enjoy the view and clean the camera as cleaners want to share this beauty to others. Manipulation to force the cleaning of the camera. Screen 3, no filter, it's reality, catastrophic, hopeless, everybody's suicide if they see that. Wow. பா இவ்வளோ தெளிவாக போட்டுக்கிறான் பாருங்களேன். திஸ் இஸ் கேட்டாஸ்ட்ரஃபியா. ஏதாச்சும் வேஸ்ட் பேலான் தான் இது. கேட்டாஸ்ட்ரஃபி அப்படி உலகமே அழிஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்குன்றாங்க. வாவ். I can't really see if there are bodies on the screen 3. It looks like yes, and if yes, this theory could be valid. If no, there is something else unknown and my entire theory is invalid. If yes, that this would mean that the sheriff saw the screen 3 at the end without the mask. And by the way, in episode 2 we do not see at all what the sheriff sees without the mask. Reverse angle, he focuses on the body of his wife. But let's go further in this theory just for fun. We see that the power shuts down from the bottom of the silo to the top. Normal generator is at the bottom. In the scene just before, we have the bottom to top overview of the entire silo. I guess looks like 100 floors. It's hard to count versus 140 total floors in silo if I remember well. There is something like 2 or 3 seconds delay for all the floors to be shut down from bottom to top. So we can guess the position of all the system creating the filters on the room of the screen showing itself. Can guess the position of all system creating the filter in the room for the screen showed itself. As the screens scene as the green screen shows the sequence 1 2 3 with the duration approximately the same silo bottom top overview scene 2 or 3 seconds. Positioning would be top and outside the camera that never stops in the screen as we saw. அப்பா டீட்டெயிலாக பிடிச்சிருக்காரு. அது ஃபஸ்ட்டு டாப்பு outside the camera that never stops in the screens we saw. Top floor, the room with the screen. Middle floor, the place where the filter 2 is generated and streamed to the top. Bottom floor, the place where the filter 1 is generated and streamed to the top. Wow. இப்போ மேலே இருக்க டாப் அண்ட் அவுட் சைட் மட்டும்தான் த கேமரா தட் நெவர் ஸ்டாப்ஸ் இன் த ஸ்க்ரீன் வி சா. ஓகே ஓகே. டாப் ஃப்ளோர் த ரூம் வித் த ஸ்க்ரீனு. Middle floors, the place where the filter 2 is generated and streamed to the top, and bottom floor, the place where the filter 1 is generated and streamed to the top. What is the filter 1? It is not so beautiful, not so catastrophic. What is filter 2? Okay. The sequence should be following: generator on, we see the camera stream with filter 1 as normally for everybody, then generator off, then the bottom floors are shut down. Screen 2, filter 2 is streamed, then middle floors are shut down. No filters for anymore, then top floors are shut down. Screen shut off with the direct view of the camera without filters. It would be nice to know if we have an official plan of the silo to confirm if the screen room we saw just the bottom of the silo, if we locate the different population of factions. I understand that bad law justice guys at the middle. In any cases, I hope that the writer or shorter went to describe it with the scene. I hope really is grateful. This would also explain that Tim Robbins being angry about it happening, since his department would be the one with access to feeds. Be aware a shutdown could impact the scenes. Wow. Nice. Spoiled myself on some bits of the story. Outside part and it's pretty stupid. All I'm gonna say. Spoiled myself on some bits of the story. The outside part and it's pretty stupid. All I'm gonna say. DMA, I'd like to know. No. Yep, that was strange to see at least. Great to see mechanical team at working. Keep working alive. Keep everyone alive and seeing Juliet get satisfaction of repairing the generator of a 30-year-old problem, ensuring a generations of power to come before heading upstairs. Was really well done storytelling. I guess Cooper is now Knox's shadow for the mechanical chief. And how about the fact that they don't know where the steam comes from? Seriously? Nice. The silo power plant has a generator, not a engine. It is a geothermal, or is there an offsite boiler? Nice. Could be anything that's providing the steam, especially to power a generator that keeps 2,000 people alive. I'm thinking nuclear, or for the sake of sci-fi element, a nuclear fusion generator. The large body of water Juliet found is obviously the water source. Juliet might find the entrance to the steam source if she keeps searching the hidden place the IT guy showed her. I'm betting on nuclear. Did you see the poster in the control room background? Said something like the syndrome, no the symptoms. This is they're not exactly mining coal or anything. Thinking that's referring to suicide prevention. It was mentioned how the signs are thought from the young age. The entire sequence of Juliet is the steam room made absolutely no physical sense. There are only two things that would happen. If she was in a enclosed space with a superheated door, neither of those things were depicted on screen. Thing one, no idea what the door was made of, but if the ductile to brittle transition temperature wasn't low enough, the door would have exploded when the cold water hit it, killing Juliet. Thing two, if the door didn't explode, the water would instantly superheat, and Juliet would have been scalded like a fishlet in a frying pan. If she does survive third-degree burn over the entire body, she would have boiled to death in the water she was standing in. In either scenario, dead Juliet. Unfortunately, the ridiculous of the generator took me totally out of the show for a minute. I have never worked on a huge power plant generator, but I imagine there is a lot more tense moments. Talking to a mechanic could have been given a more realistic form of tension other than fixing a turbine with steam, with the no steam bypass. Superheated steam melting a steel door. Superheated steam melting the steel door. Blasting cold water meters from a steel close to a melting point in some small escape space, receiving gentle spray of warm water on her face. And somehow the turbine magically turns without the steam. Actually forcing them to spin while the panels are off. Having said all that, I respect them for deciding to give absolutely no fucks about physics and just stick with the pure storytelling and enjoying it so far. Quickly figure out the tribe, sure. I mean, crazy should the generator not work until the panels are back on? Steam should be flowing through these plates to the right. No, it's exactly right. If the steam isn't forced the flow around the blades of the panels, the turbine shouldn't spin. Not to mention super steam venting through the room. Hello, it breaks down when you think, but it was entertaining TV. I'll give you that. Right. பேர்லாம் இந்த கிளி கிழிச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஹாப்பி அண்ட் கிளாட் ஐ இந்த ரெடி டிஸ்கஷன் பார்த்தது. ஐ திங்க் படம் அந்த சீரீஸ் டிவி பார்த்தது சினாப்சிஸ் பார்த்ததை விட ரெட் டிஸ்கஷனில் மக்கள் இது எப்படி பார்க்குறாங்கிறது ரொம்ப எக்ஸைட்டிங்காக இருக்குது ஆக்சுவலி. ஸோ மெனி தியரிஸ் ஸோ ஃபார். ஏன் ஒத்த மைண்டு இவ்வளோ யோசிக்குமான்னு தெரியல. ஆனால் இப்படி கலெக்டிவாக நிறைய விஷயத்த ஒரே காமன் விஷயத்த பேசுகிறப்ப நானே பல பேர் இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுற மாதிரி ஃபீல் பண்ணுறேன். வெரி ஹாப்பி அண்ட் கிளாட் ஐ டு திஸ் வீடியோ. உங்களுக்கு நான் பண்ணுற வீடியோ பிடிச்சிருந்தா லைக் பண்ணுங்கள். அண்ட் இஃப் யூ ஹேவ் சம் சஜஷன்ஸ் ஆர் கமெண்ட்ஸ், நீங்கள் ஏதாவது கிரிட்டிசிசம் ஆகட்டும், இல்லை ஏதாவது சஜஷன்ஸ் ஆகட்டும், ஃப்ரெண்ட்லி ரிமைண்டர் ஆகட்டும், எதுவாக இருந்தாலும் இதை பற்றி பேச போகணும். எனி திங், if you want to suggest me anything, just make use of the comment section. And if you want to support me, hit that subscribe button. That's the one you can support in a community bus like me. கூடிய சீக்கிரம் இன்னொரு எபிசோடோட ரேண்டோட உங்களை வந்து சந்திக்கிறேன். Take a bye. See you all. Peace out.